Oh, hey, welcome to the basement for the last time. This is it. This is your last video lesson. From here on out, our class blocks are occupied with recording your individual orals. We also have a final exam block out there, but my hope is that if our schedule treats us right, we'll just come together to see each other one last time before we begin the summer. So, this is the last episode of Mr. Ahnert's Basement because I have to go over how you're going to conduct signing up for an individual oral recording session and how that recording session will actually run. So, let's get to it. Everything that you need today will be here under IO.6, making an IO appointment and recording directions. This video will be at the top, followed by this set of recording procedures. The other thing that I will make a reference to is going to be my appointment calendar. That you're not going to see in classroom today. It's going to post tomorrow, and that will be IO.7 appointment calendar link. Let's take a look at the assessment recording process. For a smooth and successful I.O., please do the following things to ensure you are ready for your recording. I know technology is imperfect and we can expect some bumps in the road like a lag in video or audio. Don't worry, IB understands these are happening remotely and questions and statements can always be repeated. So if I freeze up while I'm asking the question and you can't quite hear it, don't tense up. You can ask, I didn't hear the question, can you say it again? That's what that's saying, that I'm not going to remove any Bedford communication competency points, and IB isn't expecting me to reduce your criterion on communication either, right? That asking for a clarification doesn't mean that you haven't been listening. It means that it's known we're recording these remotely. You actually have to schedule this, so a couple things on that. This is where we get serious a bit. This is your final for IB English 1 and a formal IB assessment. If you miss your scheduled I.O. or you are late, you will be rescheduled and receive a late grade. How to schedule the recording. As I mentioned, a link to my appointment calendar will be posted to Google Classroom. There will be plenty of slots to pick from, but it is first come, first serve. Do not cancel your appointment once you have picked it. That must go through me. So, this is how you sign up for an appointment calendar if you haven't had a teacher use one of these before. It will look like this when you click on the link that is posted tomorrow. The link is going to be posted at 8 a.m. and when you click on the link, it will take you to a window that looks like this. You won't see these blotches over here. These are all events on my personal calendar, so it's telling me when I can't sign up for things because I have things on my calendar, but you will see these I.O. recording blocks and any other appointments or assignments that you have on your personal calendar that would keep you busy. Now I am going to schedule this link to go up at 8 a.m. I'm not posting at 8 a.m. I'm scheduling it so that I'm leaving it to the Googles and the internet to decide when that link goes live. And that, to me, helps even the playing field. Think of it a little bit like the way intersession registration works. It is first come, first serve to these available slots. But I did make a lot of them, so you are free to pick the one that is best for you. And there's no pressure to go right away. And I will also preview all the slots that are available right now by going through the full Google Calendar. All right, so not this one. I'm going to come back to that, but starting here, this is when slots will first be available during our class, starting at 7:30, and then 4 slots, half hour a piece. So there's 4 here. And then I am free every 4th block, and so you can pick off some of these slots as well. Please only sign up for 1. So there's 8 this week. Next week, you'll see a lot. Here's my free block again, so there's 12. Here's our class. There's 16. Here is 4 more for 20. Here's our class again for 24, and then 28. So that's already 10 more than we need. The other thing you should know as you see these two splotches right here, that is our class. If you are signed up for your I/O, you do your I/O. If you're not signed up to do the I/O, you have managed time. Now, if you need help or something and you email an English question during that time, of course, I'm super available unless I'm recording somebody else's I/O, but I'm technically working English class at that point. If you are not recording, you have prep time for what other things that you are working on. Finally, if those 28 aren't good enough on this last week, I've got a whole bunch more because here's where finals begins. Those are half days, so I have lots of slots in those afternoons as well. If you're more of an afternoon person and you don't have fourth block off, then here are these options. They are a couple weeks away, but lots of spots in these afternoons. So how do we sign up for this? If you haven't used one before, it is a very easy process. You find one that is available. If it's been taken by somebody, it won't be there anymore. So you don't have to worry about taking something that somebody else has. You can't actually do it. Once you click on it, you'll get this window. Just by clicking save, it will make you a guest to this event in my calendar. So you don't have to write anything, but if you wanted to, you could. As soon as I click save, pretty quickly I get an email and blink, there it is. You don't see that my computer just notified that I got an email, but if I go to my calendar, pretty quickly I have my appointment slots, but then this right here is me signed up to be with me. So instead of that being me, it would be you. So just like that, you have picked up a I/O slot. All right, so that's how the appointment calendar works. What do we do to get prepared? So about 1 week before recording, and we're fudging a little bit because you're supposed to give me the outline and extracts to approve 1 week before recording. So if you're going on Friday, you definitely want to have those things in order. You wouldn't want to be surprised when I say that extract looks too big and you can't use it. But I'm confident here because I just think we've been doing it all year, and I don't think we're going to fall on our face here. And that those of you who are the kind of person who wants to do this 7:30 a.m. on Friday, you're probably ready to go. You also want to do some looking around your house and deciding where the best place to record this might be. It might not be the same place as where you have been doing English class. You might want to get a little closer to the router in your house, or you might want to plug right in with an Ethernet cable so that you have no internet connection issues. And you probably want to sit comfortably because you are going to be working live for 10 to 15 minutes. So if you have hopped into Google Meets before on like the couch or cross-legged on the floor, maybe that's not a good choice for this. You also need to think about when you sign up. First of all, remember it. Put it in your Google Calendar, put it in your phone, write it on a piece of paper, post it to the fridge, stick it to the wall, that your door, wherever. But then also tell your parents and your siblings who you don't want to interrupt your recording. So especially those of you who have other high school siblings who are caught up in the same mess as us, if you schedule your individual oral recording in the middle of their math class that meets for live Google Meets, you're going to want to make sure that you guys work that out and don't hang out in the same room on that day because you want to have a distraction-free recording session. So work that stuff out. Double check that your Chromebook is working, and if you're going to support your recording with a pair of headphones that has a mic, make sure that there are no hardware miscommunications there as well. It's not a bad idea, but you wouldn't want to be surprised on the day of that it's not working. On the day before, if you have a morning recording session, set your alarm so you don't miss it. Make sure that you leave time to eat and shower and sort of go to school. You don't want to open up your Chromebook in bed and have me there waiting to grade your final. Have your Chromebook charged because it is going to be busy doing a Google Meet for 15 minutes. That can put a hit on the battery. Double check those things. Make sure the dog didn't chew those earbuds last night. And then put all your papers that you need in one place so that you're not running to the other room last minute. At your actual day of recording, you're going to join the meet. That meet code will be in your calendar appointment. So once that's made, I will be able to go into here and I will be able to add a meet. And so once that's there, that is going to be the link that you click. Now, that is also why I don't want you to cancel on me. So if something comes up, like an emergency, and you have to not show up to that slot, it needs to be in a reasonable amount of time, and you can't just do this, because you do have the power to do this. Since this is your event, you can delete this. And if I go to my appointment calendar, it's back. I don't want to be surprised by that. So you have a lot of power to cancel on me and move to another slot. Don't do that, because once I am looking at this, I'm going to see, here's Johnny, here's Nixie, here's Olivia, and here is Lavinia, and I've got that mentally prepared. And then I wake up Friday morning and only Olivia's left and everyone has fled. That is unpleasant. So make sure if you are canceling that you go through me. Be ready to show me your setup. All right, so these next 3 bullet points are about keeping your camera on, not because we're going to save this video forever and that I'm going to find you on the day of your wedding and play it to your wedding guests, but rather I need to see your desk, that you don't have anything other than the outline with the 10 bullet points and the clean extracts, which is another reason why we need to have at least a week, because you have to print that stuff out. So if you need to figure out how to print it, start figuring that stuff out as well. So if this is your Chromebook, you're turning the camera on and then showing me your desk, that you only have those papers to work with, little scan of the workspace, and then that's it. We leave the cameras on so I can see your performance while you are recording, so that you're not getting up and leaving and getting notes from someplace else. Again, not that anybody has that nefarious plan ready to go. These are IB rules. In terms of what's actually recorded, it will just be the audio. So I will start an audio application. I will tell you I'm starting to record, and only the audio coming out of our Google Meet is saved. You will speak for 10 minutes. Then when I feel like you're done with those 10 minutes, if it's early or if it's right at that 10 minutes, I'll make that call to ask you a couple questions, and then you are done, and I will tell you I have stopped the recording. And then after that, I will essentially have to say goodbye, and I hope to see you at our final block celebration. Right? Because of all these slots being front-loaded, we shouldn't have anything to do on the day of our actual final exam. We do still have to show up, and I have to take an attendance because no one's allowed to cancel their exams, even in this environment. But I am hoping that our final exam is just logging in and seeing each other one more time with all of this done and just waiting on me to put it into PowerSchool so that we can head off into summer. And even though we don't get to see each other, at least we could sit outside for a little bit. Looking forward to it. Okay, so today the Google Meet is going to have me sitting in it. I'll start up the class from Google Meet if you need to stop in and ask questions about any of this. If you need to schedule a personal Google Meet, that's allowed, And so you may come into the classroom Google Meet and you might see me on mute talking to nobody, but I'm actually talking in a other Google Meet with a single person. And other than that, appointment calendar post tomorrow at 8 a.m. Outlines and extracts are due tomorrow at that same time so that we have that week to work with. If you have an IO conference, you need to show up to what you signed up for. If you can't because of an emergency, you need to go through me. And if you are otherwise unscheduled during the next classes, you do not have class, you have managed time instead. And that's it for video lessons until I see you in a live Google Meet on the day of our final exam. Let's do it.